Hi, and welcome to Allot On Air. During the next 10 minutes, we'll be meeting with industry experts to discuss the hottest trends in telecom, cybersecurity, and network intelligence. I'm Seth Greenberg, Director of Corporate Communications at Allot, and joining us today at the Allot On Air studio is Tomer Egozi, Vice President of Global Sales for Enterprise Business at Allot. So good morning, Tomer. How are you doing?
Morning, Seth. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Well, we want to get right into it, so I've got a couple of questions for you, if that's okay.
Sure.
You bet. So, first of all, what do you do at Allot? What's your job here?
So, as you mentioned, I'm the Vice President of the Global Sales for Enterprise Business at Allot. I joined Allot almost 3 years ago, where we decided to open a new business unit for the enterprise business.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward, I guess. There's so much going on now, in the world, and I guess COVID-19 is on top of everybody's mind. Really, it's taken over everything. But specifically, from your perspective, what are the main challenges for IT managers that you see in the enterprise business because of COVID-19?
So today we see a lot of IT managers and network managers need to allocate more network resources to work from home for remote users. If in the past they needed to allocate only about 10% of their network for remote users, these days they have to allocate more than 90%. Almost all of their employees are connected from home. Also from groups that they were not used to work from home, like R&D, like finance, corporate, and other departments. For that, they have to have two major, I would say, capabilities. One is the ability to provide a high quality of experience for these remote users to make sure that their productivity is high. The second is also to have the visibility capabilities to troubleshoot any issues, because any network issue now will become more critical than before when the users are remote and each one sits in his own home.
Thanks. So what are some of the other challenges you're seeing?
So another challenge we see for the IT and network managers is because of this high demand of working from home, companies start to expedite their movement to the cloud, to the public cloud, moving their infrastructure and service to the cloud to provide this fast connectivity to their remote users.
Okay, and do you see this trend continuing to grow?
Absolutely. We see this kind of infrastructure changes are usually for long term, and we see that these changes will stay with us. It's actually, most of them were already in the plan of these companies, but the pandemic actually expedite this movement. And you asked me about the challenges, so absolutely the same challenges of providing high quality of experience and the lack of visibility of the usage of the applications and the critical applications on the network will remain if they are moving to the public cloud or implementing any other infrastructure upgrade.
So recently we've seen a lot of companies investing in migrating their networks to SD-WAN infrastructure. Do you see this trend changing?
So just to make sure that everyone understands, the SD-WAN is a new infrastructure implemented for companies that want to improve or actually make it faster and easier to connect remote branches to the network, and also to reduce the cost of private WAN, such as MPLS costs. We definitely see this trend continues. Companies invest in this new infrastructure. I would call it the next generation of routing, okay, to make sure that every movement and changes also later, as we spoke, to the cloud will also be supported by this infrastructure. Still, the change that we do see, even before the pandemic, is that there is still need to keep the critical applications in their data centers, still to keep, as we call it, a hybrid network for the main infrastructure and the main critical applications of the organization.
So let me do about is SD-WAN enough for enterprises for them to get application visibility and such?
That's a great question. We've seen that, like I said, the SD-WAN should be considered as connectivity upgrade. And although some solution claims to have this kind of application visibility, application control, quality of service, quality of experience, we have to remember that the SD-WAN is more about the connectivity. So whenever they will have to face, let's say, a challenge of connectivity, and they have to choose between the connectivity or the application control, for example, they will choose the connectivity. Okay, same as routers. So the main challenge, as you mentioned, still, and definitely when they have the hybrid mode of keeping centralized management or centralized location of their main business critical applications with MPLS and the SD-WAN, I would say CPEs on the remote small branches, they will still need some solution for intelligent traffic management to be able to give them the visibility and also the control of these business critical applications, the ability to align their business priorities with the network resources.
So they're going to have to go beyond the SD-WAN to
Absolutely.
get that.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, well, looking forward, what are some of the customer pains that you see coming up on the horizon?
A lot of companies are thinking about changing their infrastructure more constant than before. And I think that every network solution today has to be very flexible and has to be aligned with these kind of rapid changes.
And what are the kind of solutions that, how do they get that flexibility?
So one of the major flexibilities is the ability to move virtualized, to be virtualized. So, for example, the solution that if you buy it on premise today, you want to make sure that the licensing methodology is allowing you to move in a smooth way to the cloud, that you don't need to reinvest all over again. Another thing is that you have to have a very clear visibility. You hear me talking about mainly about the visibility. So visibility is very, very important to understand what's going on the network and help you make, I would say, smarter business decisions for any kind of migration or any kind of infrastructure upgrade.
Okay. All right. This is all interesting, but I just got the high sign. We're coming to the end of our time, and I just wanted to know what you think is the best way for listeners to learn more and to connect with you.
So we have a dedicated place on our website, so you can come and visit us on allot.com/enterprise. Where we have more information about that, and of course, you can look us up on social media, on posts on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter.
Okay. So thank you, Tomer. I just wanted to thank you. That was Tomer Egozi, Vice President of Global Sales for Enterprise Business at Allot. Thank you for joining us. I hope we see you back again here soon.
Thank you.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening. You can get more information about network intelligence and security solutions for service providers and enterprises on our website at allot.com. Subscribe to this podcast to make sure you hear about new trends and technologies on the next episode of Allot on Air.